And good morning, everyone. Getting myself another cup of coffee. Welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. Trying to get rolling here this morning. I'm actually running just a little bit late. It's, I don't know, it's 6:13 and the day's half over for me. Anyway, I'm sharing with you some thoughts on Satan and the victory of Christ. As I've shared with you, one of the chief claims, arguments, if you please, against covenant eschatology is, well, if you say that Christ came in the first century, then that means that Satan's been defeated, but just look around because there's still evil in the world. Well, what I'm currently sharing with you is the fact that the Bible makes a very clear point about the time of the passing of the power of Satan as the Bible defines it. And that time is undeniably the first century. Now, as I have suggested to you already, I've written a couple of books that touch on this, although granted not extensively. But the two books are Seal Up Vision and Prophecy and 70 Weeks Are Determined for the Resurrection. Now, here's how they deal with the issue of Satan. Daniel chapter 9 says 70 weeks are determined, seal up vision and prophecy. Well, the prophetic office would endure until the coming of the Lord. The coming of the Lord is the time of the destruction of Satan. We determine the time of the end of the 70 weeks. We have determined the time of the destruction of Satan. And thus, the book, 70 Weeks Are Determined for the Resurrection, therefore and thereby deals with the issue of the timing of the destruction of Satan. As I've suggested, you go to my website, www.eschatology.org, www.bibleprophecy.com, and you order the books, and you mention that you saw the offer on YouTube, and I'll refund your shipping on the two books. Now, I've already shared with you some thoughts on Daniel 9. And keep in mind, I'm just giving you a little tiny snippet of things here. But Zechariah is a book that emphatically tells us the time of the cessation of the evil spirit and the prophetic office. And it puts it in a framework and a context that's undeniable. Zechariah chapter 13. In that day, well, what day is it? Well, it's the day that is discussed in chapter 12, 10 and following, in which they would look upon him whom they had pierced as the only begotten Son. Well, Jesus quotes Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10, and Matthew chapter 24, verse 30, to speak of the fall of Jerusalem in AD 70. Revelation chapter 1, verse 7, quotes the same identical verse to predict the coming of the Lord against those who had pierced him. Now then, in that day, a fountain shall be opened for the house of David, for the inhabitants of Jerusalem, for sin and for cleanness. Now watch. In that day, says the Lord of hosts, I will cut off the names of the idols from the land. They shall no longer be remembered. I will also cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to depart from the land. So here we have it. In the day in which they would look upon the one that they had pierced and mourn, the Lord would cause the prophet and the evil spirit to pass out of the land. By the way, when you follow the references to in that day, it is the day in which 2/3 of the people would perish, and only a remnant would be saved. In that day would be the day in which Jerusalem would be surrounded and ravaged. Chapter 14. There's no question, therefore, that Zechariah posits the time of the cessation of the prophetic office. Remember Daniel 9, the end of the 70 weeks, destruction of Jerusalem. Zechariah 13, into the prophetic office, destruction of Jerusalem. But that is also the time in which God said, I will make the evil spirit, i.e. Satan and his host to perish out of the land. The Bible is very clear, and it's very emphatic. We just need the courage, the power of the heart, the power of the mind, that in spite of all of the claims that we hear, in spite of what we think we see, to accept what the Bible is so clear in testifying. Well, we've got more. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to get the books. Mention you saw the offer on YouTube. I'll refund your shipping. We'll see you on the flip side.